Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video, and welcome to the third and penultimate part of my dreams, I suppose you could say, for a Dyslexic Billionaires network. I realised in the first two parts I forgot to put TM for trademark, also R for rights reserved or whatever, and C copyright. Especially love to trademark it, like the idea itself of what I call Billionaires networks, which I'll talk about in the future, maybe in January or ASAP or whatever. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and so I just trying to remember which I thought, but yeah, I forgot to put as a TM or C and all that kind of thing, and I forgot to yeah, I suppose I could have put like dollar signs and pound signs and all that kind of thing, but yeah, in this one I hope to talk about how I came up with the idea and how the idea has changed, as I said before. And yeah, here you go. So these are pointers number 21 today. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. But yeah, on to the rest of the list. I thought I'd make one more video before I go for my shower. I have my shower quite late, so I'm going to go for my shower hopefully after this one, and then make part 4, all being well. But yeah, I hope people enjoy it, especially dyslexics out there, and hopefully one day in the future Dyslexic Billionaires themselves will enjoy these videos. I'm reminding myself of Mr. Burns, I don't know why. But anyway, here goes. So, number 21. I can't remember a huge amount about how I came up with the idea, but I used to be in a college, or actually it was like I think they call it sixth form college in Britain. I think it's the official word. And I was one of the adult learners, and I was with this group for people with disabilities. And some people say that people who become financially successful normally are disagreeable, i.e. they don't mind, I suppose, going against the status quo, and they don't mind offending people even, or what people think about them. They don't really care about that. As some say, like, what other people think about me is their business or whatever, and that kind of thing. But I've always been someone who probably cares maybe a bit too much what people think about me, to an extent, generally speaking, and quite shy and things like that, and shy and nervous or whatever. But I guess having anxiety. But when I was on this group, when I was in this group and on this course for people with disabilities, and they had more severe disabilities like Down syndrome, severe levels of autism, and things like that, I wanted to quit, but I was too polite to sort of say I wanted to quit, and I got on quite well with the teacher and the teachers, in fact, there, so I didn't quit when perhaps I should. But I started to, a lot of the stuff was a bit too easy even for me, I guess, if I'm honest, but which is not a situation I'm used to. But yeah, I wanted to say I'm going to quit for ages, or it's just not working out, but I couldn't find a polite way of saying it, like to say this isn't working out or whatever. So yeah, in the end, I just stayed there for ages, even though I wanted to set up a business and I wanted to do all these things. I suppose I know how going my way, but I used to Google about famous dyslexics. I sometimes still do, but I Googled relentlessly about famous and successful dyslexics, and I saw this list, not realizing that it's probably not always accurate. Like people say Bill Gates is dyslexic. I don't know if that's true or not. I doubt it, because he wasn't a bad academic student, which normally dyslexics are, and he reads quite a lot. Even people like Warren Buffett has been described as dyslexic, Larry Ellison, and many others. But I know Bill Gates said he probably would be diagnosed with autism if he was growing up today, and possibly ADHD. But I would assume in that speech he would have mentioned dyslexia if that was true. But I don't know where this rumor came from. I think it's from when Sally Shaywitz, sorry, I didn't mean to butcher her name there, or a witch or whatever, but she's not a witch, she's completely opposite, I'm sure. But who did a lot of work with dyslexia. I'm not sure if she's still around, but still with us, but bless her. But she did some great work for dyslexics with the Yale Centre for Dyslexia and Creativity. I think she's one of the co-founders of that, and she was asked to do a speech about dyslexia at Davos. And I think in the article it mentioned people like King's CEOs, presidents, and people like Bill Gates were there. So I think people mixed up that article with saying Bill Gates is dyslexic, but I don't think that's true. Again, he likes to read a lot, which normally dyslexics don't, unless it's like an audio book. But it does affect people differently. But anyway, I suppose my original point is I used to read about, and I wanted to find out about like who's the world's richest dyslexic and things like that. And I was very money minded back then. So yeah, I guess this idea just came about when I was thinking, oh yeah, what if there was a network to connect dyslexic billionaires together as a group, and how big that would be as a brand, and imagining myself being famous by setting up this group, or amongst other things. This was one of many ideas I had at the time, and still kind of have lots of ideas as well, even now. But yeah, so that's pretty much in a nutshell as far as I remember how the idea came about. And back then I used to want to be super rich. I wanted to be a billionaire or trillionaire, whatever, have the brain of Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Warren Buffett put together, and all these great things, and be a superstar entrepreneur and all these sorts of things, and people look up to me. Again, caring probably quite a lot what people think about me and that kind of thing. But obviously it wasn't to be, for better or worse. Nowadays I'm into the philanthropy, which brings me on. I think that covers everything from point number 21 again. Although I might recap some of the things I said in parts 1 and 2, but I'm not going to. I'm going to move on to point number 22. So how the idea is now is more about, I mean, it hopefully would make dyslexic billionaires richer, because I assume they'd probably want an incentive to join. I mean, they might say, well, we have enough. Let's say someone like Charles Schwab might say, I've got enough money, I don't really need more money. I just want to do something else. But I thought of a number of selling points, marketable points for people like Richard Branson, Charles Schwab. I know Richard Branson says he's not a billionaire, whatever. There's another dyslexic guy, I'm not sure if he's a billionaire or not, but he says he's not a billionaire. And he said if people will be jealous rather than wish you well. So I'm not sure if they're billionaires, but don't want people to know they're billionaires or whatever. But the marketable points that freaked me out. Then I was the image on the screen froze, and I was like, oh, what's going on? I hope I don't have any technical issues. But anyway, the marketable things I think of is like, say, Richard Branson says, I don't do it for the money. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but let's take his word for it. If we may, please, let's take his word for it. But it could be things like having more fun. Richard Branson says he likes to have more fun, and he talks about wanting to go into different industries, and I think like that would give you opportunities. Like if Richard Branson wanted to go into a different area, I know he's in all these different industries, but if he wanted to go into a different industry, it would be helpful to network with others, let's say other dyslexic billionaires or whatever. Again, I know he said he's not a billionaire, but I've got good news for him if he is, because he can join this network. But on a serious note, like getting into different areas, learning from each other, all sorts of things like that. I'd love to know from you, like, if you were a dyslexic billionaire, would you want to join a network like this, and what would put you off joining it, and what would make you want to join it? That'd be interesting to find out. As I said before, in order to join, you'd have to be both dyslexic and a billionaire. So I'm not sure if Richard Branson would reclassify himself as a billionaire or whatever, but officially he's said to have a net worth of $5 billion or whatever. So he said he's not officially a billionaire or whatever. But moving on, number 23, philanthropy is one of the main things now that I would love for it to do. So I'd love for it to support other dyslexics, other people with related conditions, shall we say, disabled people, people in developing nations, dyslexics in tech around the world, especially in Africa, supporting Aboriginals, Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders, Maoris, and others. I meant to say in the intro that I'm a bit gutted, excuse the expression, but that Inter lost 1-0. I think it was a late goal against Liverpool. It was pretty much the opposite to what I wanted to happen, kind of, because I was hoping towards the end of the game that Inter would get a late goal, but unfortunately it's been the opposite. But hopefully in the future, Inter and other Italian teams can improve. And I was talking about Italian football before. Sorry for those who might not have seen parts 1 and 2 on my other videos, but yeah. So going back to the point, doing a lot for philanthropy, again, getting more dyslexics, especially in developing nations, into tech, helping Aboriginals in tech, and doing loads of great stuff using tech to make the world a better place, to make life easier for people like to build robots and fund the building of robots, especially to fund people from Africa to build robots, that I talked about before. Hopefully that would benefit Africa's economies, and it would also mean that they could build robots that make our life better, more better, in better English. Like, for instance, doing our DIY and the jobs we don't like doing, what some people might even hate to do. I don't want to hate anyone or anything, but if robots did all that work, it would mean I wouldn't have to hate anyone or anything. But I'd say I don't want to work hard because then I might start hating people or things or whatever. Just kidding. But yeah, I'd say people who don't like doing gardening or cleaning or tidying, who would have that option, and basically be able to do more of what you want to do if those robots were funded. And at the same time, it would benefit Africa because they could grow their economies. Maybe even Aboriginals could be supported and show what they can do and prove the critics and haters wrong. But again, I'd love to know what you think. And drinking my nice tea, I just remembered as well about those tea sort of events. I thought about where tea companies, maybe coffee companies as well, could have events where people pay £1 or whatever, or put in a donation, and preferably as much as they can, whatever they feel comfortable doing as individuals. So those with deeper pockets, like bigger bank accounts, more money or whatever, could put more in. But yeah, they could fund Tech for Africa. I suppose, to be fair, having a Dyslexic Billionaires network would mean a lot more funding available for such as well. I'd also love to encourage Dyslexic Billionaires to fund schools like the Rare Gem School, which I support in Kenya, and support, let's say Dyslexics in business, especially in places like Malaysia, India, Indonesia, South Africa, Singapore, and places like that. And moving on, number 24, I'd love for them to meet up. I'd love for this to be formed and for them to meet up. I'm trying to think for like a process, a step-by-step process. So I'd love to get started. I'd love to make videos like this and then somehow just almost as if by magic, not that like magic, but in a cool way, in a really easy way, basically. If I had a genie, this is one of the wishes I would wish for, but that a dyslexic billionaire or even a few dyslexic billionaires out there would somehow stumble across this mad guy here and say, oh, that's a cool idea, and then it would put into practice. I mean, if I believed in like the law of attraction, self-fulfilling prophecy, I think therefore I am, and that kind of thing, think it into existence. I would like, manifest it and put these videos are putting it out into the universe. But yeah, I suppose they are very busy, so I don't know if they can meet up every day, but I'd love to have events as often as possible. I guess they might want to meet up more often if they're going to, then like one, I was thinking annually, like once a year, but I imagine they want to meet up more often actually. There'll probably be some time frame in between that. I imagine they wouldn't want to meet up just once a year, but they might be too busy to meet up daily. But given things like Zoom, there could be ways where they could discuss investments and things like that online. And number 25, talking about investments, I dream that this group or whatever you want to call it, this network, would invest in, as I talked about before, like silver, gold, oil, AI, apps, app development, developing nations, emerging market economies, nations where they think they're going to grow bigger, and things like that. And I guess they would have more ability to take risks, to invest in different things, and again, hopefully do a lot for charity from a biased point of view, as well as supporting the town for what I love for them support republics, which I have to mention. Number 26, also former colonies. I love them support former colonies. Number 27, and hopefully they could attract more investment into them as well, into this group. Hopefully people want to have shares in the group. I know I said to be a fully fledged member other than myself as a founder, and maybe even not even myself. Maybe I'd just be like a partial member if I was, or have 10% equity. But yeah, I'd love to talk to dyslexic billionaires on Zoom or whatnot, and network with dyslexics more generally. But I'd love to talk to them on Zoom and that kind of thing. But yeah, hopefully they can provide a good ROI, return on investment, and others will want to invest in them because it'd be good for their PR and whatnot. Number 28, I would love to have events. I love for guitar. I talked before in the past recently about how if I was entrepreneurial, thinking about it, if I was a risk taker, sorry, I would go to Dubai because they have a low tax economy and they support entrepreneurship and that kind of thing. But I wonder if Dubai could host events to learn about dyslexia and where dyslexic entrepreneurs could meet other dyslexic and other non-dyslexic entrepreneurs as well. But talk about dyslexia and entrepreneurship and what we can contribute to Dubai. It could be a good chance for dyslexics to network as well, given Dubai is also a place where lots of entrepreneurs are going. So I think Dubai has a number of advantages. One, it's pro-business. Two, it is a place where lots of entrepreneurs will be. Three, I imagine, anyway, a lot of rich people are going there. Three, it's a low tax economy. I say that's free because I think like taxation is enforced taxation is robbery in my opinion, and it's also a violation of freedom to an extent as well. The more people are taxed, the less free I believe they are in many ways. But at the same time, I guess unfortunately it will push the prices up. I imagine if more rich people are in that area, like Switzerland, it's probably going to be really expensive. As far as it makes sense really if so many rich people go there. Obviously everything's going to go up in price, which is bad for the poorer people. And also it does mean if you wanted to go and live there or whatever, you would have to be quite entrepreneurial because you'd have to. I mean, if you pay for your travel, your plane ticket, even, and things like that, and that kind of thing, and also be prepared to pay higher prices, then I guess that is kind of entrepreneurial in taking those risks. As Simon Squibb, a dyslexic millionaire, I'm a millionaire, as I said for jokingly, of course, but Simon Squibb talks about like how sleeping on his friend's couch gave him an opportunity to set up a business in Hong Kong, which is one of the most expensive countries in the world. I'm sure it still is. It certainly was at the time. It's probably got even more, so now who knows. But I love for Arab nations like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and places like that, maybe even jointly to host events for dyslexics, which I hope will show what we can do and hopefully benefit dyslexics and show what we could do to benefit others and the rest of the world generally even. I also hope we'll support animal rights, I suppose I'm going to say in point 23. Thinking about philanthropy, empathy, sympathy, compassion, and all that good stuff. And also, I love for us to have events in Malaysia, India, Indonesia, South Africa, Singapore, Kenya, Ethiopia, and all over Africa, Asia, and places like all over developing nations. Dyslexics generally, including dyslexic billionaires. But again, they are very busy, so I imagine Zoom would be one great way to connect and reach out to each other, that kind of thing. But yeah, maybe using Zoom, they could talk together daily. But I'd love for the group to somehow meet up once a week, preferably, or at least once a fortnight, to discuss ideas and investments. And I think the more often they meet, the more they can do. And hopefully pooling money and resources together means they can have more money and probably more importantly, more time as well to do things they love and spend time with family and things like that. Although family can be annoying sometimes. But moving on to 29, I wonder if in the future a dyslexic billionaires network, a dyslexic billionaires list would be more diverse. There would be more women and POC, people of colour, minorities, and people from different backgrounds who could be supported. And again, this network could invest in and support other dyslexics, including Black and Asian dyslexics, mixed race dyslexics, and whatnot, to reach their full potential as well, our full potential, and get more women as well to be empowered. So could there be dyslexic billionairesses and billionairesses? Although again, I'd love for us to give our money away eventually, preferably ASAP, and help others as much as possible. But that will be up to the individual. And number 30, though I wish we could, though I talk about these networks, another one of these I probably shouldn't say. I normally say my dirty ideas and confessions in point number 30 and number 40, but the dirty 30 and the naughty 40, and the fact that it's towards the end of the video, perhaps not the most professional of me, but I hope this doesn't ruin my dreams, but I hope this doesn't kill my dreams, but I'll say, anyway, yeah, I wish we could get free Tushy, Totty, Leslie, Hot Chicks, and Judy's, and I wouldn't want us to have to pay just because we're rich, so that's a bit of a dilemma. I still wish dyslexics could get sugar mamas. That's one way I'd love to be a billionaire. Marry a billionaires. But yeah, I'd love for dyslexics to get to marry billionairesses or whatever, or billionaires. And on that bombshell, I'm out and peace and love.